Yo, Kingdom, community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe.
Boom! Yes, we're back. Yes, you're mad. You're mad at me because of who's sitting next to me. You're jealous. Yes, you're jealous. But he's not being held hostage. He came here on his own. This is my guy, man, my mentor, man, Minster Brennan Francois in the building. You may know him as the Madman. Yes, one of the best, if not the best, motivational speakers in the land. I'm telling you, okay? But before we get to him, let's pay a bill. Yep, let's pay one huge bill. Okay, this bill means so much to me because see, look, if you woke up this morning, that means that God woke you up. That means that you should be thankful and grateful. Okay, so listen, man, give yourself a huge round of applause, man, just for waking up this morning, man. Okay, because he could have took you home last night, but he didn't. Okay, God gave you one more chance to be great. All right, so you make sure that you take full advantage of it. All right. Now you know why I'm thankful, because I'm sitting next to the guy, okay? That guy, okay? Mr. Madman, Mr. Man, listen, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Man, happy to be with you.
Oh, man, listen, man, I've been watching you for so long, man. We met, what, about 2 years ago?
It's been a couple of years now,
2 years ago, man, and we were supposed to, you know, be partnering for a program, but I've had the pleasure to, you know, man, follow this guy, man. This guy has a huge story, and we're gonna get into it. But I just want to say thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm really excited to be sitting next to you. This is a real treat for me as well.
Man, I'm telling you. Listen, man. We paid him to say that. So now you're not from Augusta.
Not from Augusta originally.
Where you from?
Originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, the Crescent City, the Big Easy.
Gumbo.
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
Gumbo.
That's it, yeah.
So what brought you to Augusta?
Well, you know, life experiences actually landed me here.
Okay.
In 1994, I was living and working in Ohio and had a marriage failure.
Okay.
And my former wife is from Augusta, and we had children together, and we both felt important that we each participated in rearing our children, and so that's what actually landed me here in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay. So listen, you guys have been blessed by his presence. I'm telling you, because I have been blessed by his presence here. But let's get into what you do full time, because it's so impactful. I'm telling you, it's so impactful. Now you work for Augusta University.
AU Health, yes.
Doing what?
I'm Associate Director of Pastoral Care at AU Health, and I've worked in that capacity for the past 25 years.
25 years, man. Listen. Round of applause, man. Round of applause. Now, you've seen a whole lot, right? You've seen good, you've seen bad, you've seen sad. You've seen some situations that probably would have shook most people, but yeah, you still remain sane. Like, how do you maintain, because you also do grief counseling, correct?
I do. My working connection with the hospital largely is directed at grief, yes.
Okay. So how do you maintain, let's say, because I just me being a counselor sometimes, what happens when the help need help, right? So how do you maintain your sanity knowing that you know you're trying to help somebody you know, that's grieving, right?
You know, that's a great question, and it also ties in with your original question, how I arrived here in Augusta, Georgia. When people mismanage their lives,
right,
the tendency is to make mistakes, make errors, and fall down.
Right.
The way to prevent that from happening is to have resources and places to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we sometimes become so busy doing, and we're doing good.
Right.
Not taking anything away from the fact that what we're doing is good. But if you're constantly going without stopping and refueling,
right,
stopping and filling up, you're only hurting yourself. And so it's one thing to save the world, but you better take care of you too.
Right.
And so one of the things that I've done, certainly in the last 25 years of my life, has been to take time out for Brennan.
Wow.
if you're ever driving down I-20, ever so many miles, you'll find something called a rest stop.
Right.
In my younger days, I blow right by it. I can hold it. That's what I say to myself. But man, the older I've gotten, I look forward to those rest stops. and I'm suggesting even during those times when we can get through, it's still important to stop and to rest for a while. And when we do that, the tendency is to enjoy and embrace life a whole lot better.
Yo, get your pen and paper out, man. Get your pen and paper out, because this guy's about to give you some nuggets. I'm telling you, for free, okay? Listen, you're gonna thank me when this is over. I promise you, you're gonna thank me. So now, with this pandemic, you've seen, you see people coming in. Can you tell these listeners how serious this is?
Yeah, I can't overemphasize the seriousness of COVID-19. For a variety of reasons, many of us have not taken it seriously. But when you see people dying every day, when you see people suffering, when you see people separated from the people that are considered their support group and isolated from the people they care about, that's when you know this is serious. And so doing the things that, that our parents taught us when we were kids, clean up after yourself, wash your hands. Make sure you take the necessary steps to cover if you cough or if you sneeze. Those are simple things that we learned when we were children. And if we would simply practice those things, now we have to add to that the wearing of a face covering so that we're not exposing other people to us and we're not taking in what other people have, are all preventative ways of ridding this country of COVID-19. And so I can't overemphasize wash, wear a face mask when you go out. For right now, it's just not good gathering in large groups. That can wait. Utilize, what we're doing even now. Utilize social media to connect with people.
Right.
It's not a small miracle that technology is such that we can be in contact without necessarily being side by side.
Exactly, man. Let me tell you, man. Make sure that you realize how serious this is. People, they're dying every day. Man. By the dozens, I'm telling you.
And let me add that within the African American community, the numbers are even higher. They're more staggering. And for folk who have comorbidities, it can be even more impactful. And comorbidities are what's wreaking havoc in the African American community. So things like hypertension, renal issues, blood sugar issues. If you are already facing those type things, it's even more advantageous to take the necessary precautions to safeguard yourself and those around you.
Listen, I'm telling you, listen. Take heed to what this guy is saying, because I'm telling you, he sees it on a daily basis. I'm telling you, man. Okay, so we also know, well, I know at least, and if you are hiding up under a rock, you wouldn't know. But those who follow this guy knows that he's a impactful motivational speaker. When did you start speaking?
Wow, when I first graduated college, I was hired by the college that I graduated from to serve as that college's chaplain. And the person that hired me, or the person that I reported to at the university, was invited to do a graduation speech, and he told the school he would do it. But when he did, he didn't realize that he had already told another school he'd do their graduation at the same time. And so
double booking.
Yeah, he asked if I would go down to the Valley of Texas and do a graduation. And so I did. And when I went down and I spoke, the response to my presentation was overwhelming. From that one presentation, I got 6 invitations to speak at different other venues. I went to all 6, and from those 6, I got more. And so that was really the beginning of doing what I call empowerment speaking. And that was in 1982. In 1986, we officially formalized and formed a company called Dynamic Living. And under the umbrella Dynamic Living is that which I've done my empowerment speaking for quite some time now. Yeah, close to 40 years.
40 years of speaking. I'm 40. Okay? I just turned 40, what, June 7th?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
40 years. This man has been speaking for 40 years, man. That's just, yo, man, salute to you.
Thank you.
Well, we're not dating you, okay? We'll listen, we're not gonna tell his age, okay? But he looks young. He looks very young.
But I tell you, the type of work that I do is, I think, what helps to keep, what helps to keep me young. I love what I do. There's some things you do that's a chore, and then there are things you do that you do, whether they paid you or not. I mean, if they paid you to do it, that's just a treat, but you do it anyway. And that's what dynamic living has been for me. I've never seen it as a job. I see it as God's calling on my life. And I've seen the impact that dynamic living has had in my personal experience, in the lives of my children and my family members, those I'm closest to, and then the countless thousands of other people who I've been allowed to touch through the years.
Man, I'm telling you, man, when you have touched a phenomenal, listen, you have touched so many people, man, because of your phenomenal work.
Thank you.
And, it's just something that needs to be shined. Listen, names should be in headlights whenever we mention this guy right here, man, because he's done so much out here, man. So when you speak, man, pretty much you pull from different things, right? From different life, let's say, experiences. But what's one of the main things that you pull from when you talk to these young black men?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I live by, one of the principles I live by, is that life is meant to be lived. We weren't brought into this world to crawl or stumble around or just be a perpetual failure. There's a purpose and a calling, I believe, on everybody's life. And one of the joys for me is to help people discover that pearl of great price that I think God plants in every life. And sometimes we don't see it. Life experiences tend to bury deep those things that are good about us, those things that are productive about us. But if we can open people up and help them to see who they are and to realize their value and their worth, that despite whatever you've been through, whatever folk have said or done to you, you still can do great things. And that is based on a Bible principle from John 10:10. I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly. And so part of our responsibility is to open the window and the doors of people's lives, let fresh air in so they can breathe and experience, life.
Hey, I told you, you better have your books open. I'm telling you, this is free game right here, man. This is so inspiring. Not just for you, but for me. I'm telling you, man. We're all benefiting from this guy right here, man, sitting next to me. I promise you, man. So now we also know, because I watch your LinkedIn, and you're athletic, right? And you like to ride bikes.
I do, yes.
Let's talk about that right there.
All right.
Because I've been trying to ride bikes for a long time. Okay, but it just hasn't fared too well for me. Okay. Now I fell a couple times. Don't tell me about it. Okay.
Yeah, we fall down. We
fall down, but we get up.
That's right.
How long have you been riding bikes?
Well, I actually started riding a bike when I was a little boy.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed riding bikes my entire life.
Right.
And like you said, I've enjoyed most sporting activities my entire life. But the older I get, the more difficult it is to do certain things. So in my 40s, I ran a lot of marathons and half marathons. But in my 50s, I had a hip replacement, which limits now my distant run. I can still run, but I can't run long distances like I used to. And I crave that, that long distance experience. And so I got back on the bike because the bike is easy on my joints, and I can ride long distances. And just about the time I started riding bikes, there's an organization in town called Paceline Ride. And Paceline is tasked with finding a cure for cancer. Now that's important for me as well, because just about that time I was diagnosed with cancer, and went through cancer treatment and am a cancer survivor. Thank the Lord. He brought me through. He brought me out, and I'm on the other side. And so I now ride bikes to train for the Paceline Ride. I ride 50 miles every year in the Paceline Ride to help raise money for cancer research. And I have a team of riders that ride with me. And it's not a race, it's a ride. And so, you know, nobody's really trying to compete against one another. We're just riding together. And so my team is called Team Yes We Can.
Team Yes We Can.
And I chose that name because there's some people who, like yourself, haven't ridden in a long time. They think, man, I can't do this. This is not possible.
Right.
And I thought, too, I wouldn't be able to ride 50 miles. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And so we've got people, some my age, some older than me, many younger than me, who ride 25 miles, some ride the 50 mile, and some ride the 100 mile. Wow. And it's all for a worthy cause to raise funds to fight, or find rather, a cure for cancer. And I also ride in honor of the people in my life who have beat cancer, and in honor of those who have, you know, lost the fight to cancer.
Okay. Hey, I'm telling you, this guy is in shape, man. I'm telling you, he can outdo some of you 19-year-olds out there, man. I'm telling you now, this is true. Okay? Now, you beat cancer, right?
Yes, sir.
What did you learn about yourself going through that process?
Yeah, one of the things I learned is that I'm really not as important as I thought I was. God began to show me that, you know, I don't have to be involved in everything. It's all right for me to step back. It's all right to allow somebody else to take the lead. And it was during because prior to cancer, I would just go. And I'd be anywhere in the country or around the world speaking and working and doing, you know, that thing that I do. But and actually it was really before cancer, is when I had the hip replacement that God said, you know, if you slow down, I'll show you how I can do even greater things through your being still. And so it was while I was in my hip replacement recovery and while in cancer treatment that God pushed out of me my first 2 books. The first book called Hang in There, and the second book, Keys to Dynamic Living.
Wow. See? I'm telling you, man, where can they find those books?
If you go to my website, BrennanIsMad.com, you can find the books there. You can also find them on Amazon and on most online bookstores. But I prefer you go to my website and purchase them there. That helps me, and it saves you a few dollars as well.
Excellent. Make sure you go get those books, okay? Because we're not friends if you don't, okay?
Well,
we're not friends if you don't.
BrennanIsMad.com, and those tools, I believe, are reaching more people than I could ever reach in person.
Oh, wow.
And so having written those books has been a phenomenal blessing, one that I don't think I would have done if I kept going at the pace I was going at.
Wow, man. God will make you slow down, man. Slow down to his pace. So now you're a minister.
Yes.
You're a minister at Chosen.
Yes, I'm the care pastor at Chosen.
Okay, now me and you had a conversation one time about, you know, how you wasn't really receptive to it, let's say at first. When, what's his?
Unique Mackey is the lead pastor.
Mackey.
Yes.
Yeah. Mackey wanted you to kind of do more, but you were kind of hesitant.
Yeah, well, I met Unique Mackey at the My Brother's Keepers conference. We had been asked to present, and then later we learned we were supposed to present together. And so the first time I ever met him was the day we presented together, and it was such a phenomenal relationship. It was just ebb and flow, hand in glove. It really worked well, and when we were done, we were amazed at how well we jived together, never having met in person before. And then he shared with me that he had just launched a new church, and he was telling me they met on Saturdays, and I'm a Sabbath keeper, meaning I attend church on Saturdays. And I thought, well, I'll check them out. And so I went and visited a few times, and I enjoyed the fellowship. And then he invited me to speak on a couple of occasions. And after that, he asked, you know, if I would consider partnering with him. But I think any major decision requires prayer and direction from God. The main thing is I didn't want to do something that I didn't believe God wanted me to do. And so rather than just, even though I liked Unique and I enjoyed the church community, I wanted to make sure I heard from God on that. And the more I thought it through and prayed it through, the more God convicted me that it would be not only good for them to have me, but it would be good for me to be in that community. And so my partnership with Chosen and with Unique was born more out of a mutual understanding that not only could God use me in that community, but God could bless me in that community.
Wow, that's tough. That's tough. And now, how long have you been there?
It will be, this fall will make 1 full year as the official care pastor.
And where's it located?
Currently, we're meeting in Grovetown, Georgia. Yes, at a church called Quest.
Okay.
Yes, and if you know, it's 5001 Gateway Boulevard. And so if you know where the Walmart is in Grovetown, just pass right by Walmart and keep straight, you'll run right into the church. And of course, during COVID, we're not meeting at the church, we're meeting online, and you can find us online at chosencsra.org.
So how different has it been not being able to go to church physically?
Yeah, it's hard not hugging people and physically being in people's presence. But the blessings of the church are still as real as when we were meeting. Chosen, the church has actually flourished and blossomed during COVID, just as it was prior to COVID. And it's largely because a church is not a building.
Okay.
You know, when I was a kid, we would do this little thing, you know, they say, here's the church, here's the steeple, open the door and hear the people.
Wow.
It's really people that make up a church. And if your thought of church is a physical building or property, then you're going to miss the blessings that could be gained during a time like this. We're actually growing stronger, and our ministry is much more involved during COVID than it's ever been before. And as a result, I believe the members of Chosen are becoming like you just described, becoming stronger.
Stronger, man. I'm telling you, man, because listen, man, we all grow when we come together.
Amen.
You know, I'm telling you, man.
Stronger together.
Stronger, much stronger together. Okay. So we've, you know, we live in a world nowadays where, you know, so many people, man, you know, they question their confidence, right? You know, via social media, right? And how do you maintain your confidence level?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's so high, but it's not like, you know, but it's a humble high. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to be ugly. You got to be ugly, and ugly is my acronym for you've got to love yourself.
Wow.
If you're waiting on other people to love you, if you're waiting on other people to stroke you, if you're waiting on other people to hold you up, that may never happen. And you're right. People in this world can be very cruel. And if they see giftedness in you, most people have that crab mentality. They try to pull you down rather than build you up. And so to have a ugly mentality, or a mentality where you love yourself, you understand that God is first, and after God is you. Some people say others. But in order to adequately love other people, you've got to have a healthy love for yourself. And I use the illustration, you know, when you're flying, they say if the cabin loses pressure, oxygen mask will come down. If you're traveling with someone who needs help, put the mask over them first. No, it says put it over yourself first. And when I heard that, I thought, well, why wouldn't I want to take care of my child or my elderly parent or somebody who needs my help first? Because while trying to help them, you could pass out, and both of you are doomed.
Both of you are doomed.
And so before you even attempt to help somebody else, take care of yourself. And so it's important that you feed yourself, that you educate yourself, that you stay healthy, that you keep a positive self-image. You know, what I do every day, and I know your listeners, and you may even find this hard to believe, but when I was a kid, my brothers and friends would tease me all the time. They tell me, and you're not gonna believe this, but this is true, I'm not lying. They would tell me this all the time. They say, you so ugly. I know y'all don't believe that. I know it's hard to
believe.
Yeah, that anybody would think I was ugly. But they would tease me, and one day they would tease me so bad I ran out the house, and I ran into the yard, and I was about to run the gate. My mama said, what's wrong with you? And they calling me ugly. And my mama said, beauty is skin deep. ugly to the bone. When beauty fades away, ugly holds on. She said, what's wrong now? I said, my own mama just told me I'm gonna be ugly my whole life. And every day I go to the mirror and I brush my teeth and I look at myself and I would say to myself like Sugar Avery said to Miss Seeley, you sure is ugly. That's what I tell myself. And as long as I was telling myself I was ugly, you know what I was? I was ugly. But one day I got in the mirror and I said, you don't look that bad. And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror, Terrance, and I said, you look pretty good.
Look pretty dark.
And then one day I looked at myself and said, you downright handsome. Right. And I've been handsome ever since. What changed was not this. This is the same face that was teased by my friends and my brothers when I was younger. My face didn't change. What changed was how I saw myself. And if you could see you like God sees you, if you could look past all of the junk and see the deep-seated value that God has placed in you, that's where your confidence comes from. It doesn't come from how many likes you get on your social media. It doesn't come from how many friends you have. It comes from seeing yourself the way God sees you.
Yes. Listen, man, we're gonna have to pass around the collection plate for this brother, man. Okay? It's church in the building right now, man.
Amen.
Okay? Only on the community vibes, man, where you hear guys like this, man. I'm telling you, man, he's so impactful. Guess what? That's just a small snippet, you know what I mean, of what he's been doing for 40 years. For 40 years, man. Okay? Now, if you can talk to the 17-year-old Brennan right now, what would you tell him?
Wow, man. That's a great question. What I would say to him is, whatever you do, don't give up. That's what I would say. You're going to make mistakes. Don't give up. Not everybody's going to believe in you, but don't give up. You're going to be successful and you're going to think you've made it, but don't give up. And if you don't give up and if you don't give in, you're going to be everything that God intends for you to be. Wow. That's what I tell him.
Wow. Well, he's going to make it. That guy's gonna make it.
Yes,
that guy's gonna make it, man.
And you're gonna make it too. I believe in you.
Make it, man. Yeah. You're gonna make it, man. Listen, man. We really enjoyed you, brother. I mean, listen. Now you see why I look up to the guy. Okay. Now you see why I look up to the guy, man. You know, he's been a mentor from afar. You know what I'm saying? But he's the example. He is the example, and we all need that. You know, you need people who you can look at, you know, literally look at and say, hey, that's who I want to be like right there. That's positive, okay? That's positive. We need more positive male role models to step up, okay, to the plate, man. We need you, okay? Time out for being, let's say silent, okay? Come up, man, come out, man, stand up, because these young men need to see you guys and they need to actually hear you guys, all right? Because listen, we all got a testimony, we all have a story, okay? But your story can help somebody else, I promise you, all right? So let's stand up, man, and stand out, okay? We can't let you go without asking you the magic question. Okay, gotta ask you the magic question, okay? We ask my listeners this. Well, we ask my guests this all the time, okay? And we get different answers, okay? Now, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, you eat chicken wings?
I do.
Okay. When it comes to chicken wings, do you prefer the flats or drums?
Well, that's an easy one.
What's that?
I prefer the drums. And the reason I do is because everybody else seems to want the flats.
Everybody else wants the flats. Nobody like the drums.
Yeah, I love the drums.
Always drums left over.
That's right? It, yeah.
And you can do more with drums. Like drums, listen, drums are more like me, man. You know, they always, you know what I'm saying? They have been forgot about. Nobody wanted them. They doubted them. But yet, we here.
Yeah, okay? Drums is the
Drum Nation is here, man. We persevered through it all. Okay? So you flat lovers, you weirdos, we're gonna ban all y'all. Okay? Jump Nation, we coming for you.
That's too
much. We coming for you, man. Listen, brother, thank you so much, man.
Man, thank you. Much love to you for what you're doing. My prayers are with you, and I'm proud of what you're doing, the work you're doing.
Brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Listen, man, this will not be the last time you hear from this guy. I'm telling you, man. We're gonna try to bring him back for more. I'm telling you, we can use it. Okay, right now, my soul can use it. Your soul definitely can use it. Okay, because we're living in some very rough times right now. Okay, so let's stick together and let's love up on each other, man. Each one can teach one. Okay, yes. But you have to be receptive to it. All right, make sure that you swallow your pride. Okay, and let's lift each other up, man. Okay, let's stop tearing each other down so much. All right, and let's lift each other up. All right, that's how we can grow. Okay, remember, the community is the foundation for this nation. All right, so make sure that you get in your community and start helping out, man. Start helping out. All right, that's how we grow. Okay, whenever we link, we become stronger. Okay, and put God first.
Yes, sir.
Always. It starts with Him. It starts with Him. Put God first, and everything else will work itself out. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Boom.
Yo, Kingdom. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. You say you won't shine, come get your shine on. You say you want vibes, come get your vibe on. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. Hey, you say you won't shine, we'll get your shine on. You say you want vibes, we'll get your vibe on.